Hey guys, Panda here, and welcome back to another Mario Kart 3 video. In today's video, we are going to go to Snow World, to Iceland. This is what Iceland looks like. Now you guys don't need to travel there. Of course, first level, there's the glitch. We're gonna be doing that. And so, you know, that's a good start, that's a good beginning. Let's see here. I need to be Peach for this, right? Actually, like, you don't need to be a character. It's just that Peach makes things nice and convenient. So, my computer's already suffering, and it has severe lag. And that's sad. That's a sad, sad fate for it. And I have to pray that these videos turn out well. And if they do not, then that is an unfortunate thing. I need to kill this ice tower man's, the ice Neko cactus, if you will. Oh god. Okay, damn it. Come on. Hell yeah. Skill. Alright, now I gotta try and do the glitch. Nope. You know what? I'm really good at this game. So, things to talk about. Big problem on my channel, I don't know what the hell to talk about. That might change for these next set of videos that I record, because, I actually have a few things to talk about. Let's start out with, you know, I've been feeling some nostalgia lately for some older consoles. And I've always known this, but I'd like to really make it clear now that the Wii U is exceptionally better than the Switch. I don't care what you say about sales. Like, yeah, okay, maybe the Wii U wasn't marketed well, but the Wii U as a console, with the games, with the functionality, was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So you cannot say that a Nintendo Switch, a weird tablet with some controllers that break, was better than the Wii U, which actually worked, did what it was supposed to, and didn't just copy games. Copied a lot of games, as every console does, but that's not all it did. And that's all that the Nintendo Switch does, except Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey exist. And like, if you want to consider things like ARMS, but like, ARMS doesn't count. Nobody cares about ARMS anymore. They cared about it for a month and then it was gone. No one cares about it anymore. Also, I realized that I forgot all the stars in this level, that's why I'm going back through it. So, Wii U was better. Also, the Wii U had the better Minecraft. Yet again, don't care what you say, Bedrock is trash, and I think that we can honestly all agree on that. Because, like, who likes Bedrock? We all complain about Bedrock. There's no one who's like, you know what? I love Bedrock, except for, like, 9-year-old little Timmy, who's like, you know, Bedrock's good because me and my friend, like, Bradley, me and him, we play that all the time. We have a survival world that we've had for a full 6 months. Isn't that a long time? In case you are a Minecraft scrub, 6 months is not a long time to have a survival world, by the way. Step up your game, you bitch. That's all I have for advice for you. And, yeah. Also play Console Edition, because Console Edition is better. It also has the minigame modes, which don't lag like all the servers do. And they actually, you know what? That's a lie. They do lag. They do lag a lot. But they're better. Like, they were designed by actual Minecraft developers instead of people who just want you to spend mine coins on their server. So, like, it doesn't feel like you're, like, playing some weird, like, roleplay server for, like, 9-year-olds. That's the advice that I give you. Play the superior Minecraft game. The one that the QAnon man's made himself. The Notch. I don't know why Notch decided to become, like, a full-on far-right conspiracy theorist. And I also like that he pretends that he's wise. Like, you're a game developer, man. Calm down. Calm down, buddy. But, like, I know that game developers can be smart. I'm not saying, like, oh, imagine being a game developer in, like, 2022, lol, and thinking that you're actually smart. No. I'm saying it does not make you smart in any way. And so I don't know why someone as retarded as him would think that he has a say in things just because he made a game. Because that ain't how that works. I mean, I ain't gonna elect a president just because he made a game, you know? I mean, everyone likes sharing their opinions, though. Especially on Twitter. Twitter's hell. Twitter's just an endless abyss of chaos. God dang it, I missed so many stars in this level. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go get them all now. But, like, yeah, just... Notch sucks now. Notch... He should have just kept to himself and just shut up and realized that nobody really gives a damn about what he says. And that he's actually influencing a bunch of, like, little kids to, like, think in a certain way. Which I don't think that's ever good. Like, I don't care if you're, like, you know, if you're religious, if you're Democrat, if you're Republican, if you're an atheist, whatever it is that you believe in, don't ever really tell kids to believe in that. And don't educate them specifically on one thing as if it's the right thing. Like, actually educate them on the fact that, hey, fun fact, I may be atheist, but religions do exist. Here's a few of them. Here's a few fun facts about them. And don't just say, you know what? All the religions have committed murder. Atheists have never done anything bad. We're just nihilists. Because, like, that doesn't help your case. Actually, it does help your case. But it's not a good thing to say to, like, a baby, you know? So you just gotta accept that you should just not actually, you know, force children to learn what you believe, and let them do their own thing to some extent. I mean, like, yeah, sure, don't tell them, you know what, little Timmy? If you want to go and commit murder, you can. Like, don't tell them that. But, like, things that are up to them, like, if you believe aliens are real, sure, tell them a bit about that. But don't just specifically be like, you know what, this is 100% fact, here's why it's fact, don't believe anything else. Because that's, like, the whole thing that, like, everyone agrees on is, like, oh, no misinformation, blah, blah, blah. And that's that kind of thing of, like, you know, it would be misinformation to tell a baby, like, hey, the only thing that you can believe in is what I believe in. Because that's like what all the communists and fascists do. And, like, no one likes those. And, like, I'd also like to say, like, everyone understands that, like, far left equals communism. I'm going to take damage. Son of a bitch. Everyone knows that, like, far left equals communism, and everyone likes to say that, especially the Republicans, because, you know, that's a good way to, like, scare people. Like, you know, especially, like, Cubans, because they're like, oh, communism? Oh no, I don't like that. I came from communism, and I didn't like that. That's why I came here to America, to be paid less than minimum wage, and not understanding why that's actually bad. At least I'm getting paid. I can't afford housing and I'm homeless and on the streets, or I'm living in an apartment. But so is everyone else in college, so it should be okay. But, like, you know, far left is communism, and then far right, which I think fewer people tend to accept, the far right is fascist. Like, if you go all the way far right, then you have some kind of weird aristocratic nonsense where one person is in charge entirely, and, like, there's, like, the higher-ups that are the only people that matter, and everyone below them may as well be slaves, because that's all that matters. Like, that's what the difference is. And, like, neither is good. And I think that we can all agree that neither is good. But both tend to pretend that they are good, which don't do that. Because guess what? You're not good. If you're on the far left or on the far right, you're not good. I don't care what you say, you're not good. I mean, that's just not even a matter of, like, opinions or anything. And everyone likes to be on the far left or far right because everyone likes to make their opinions extreme just to, like, be heard, you know? Like, if you're telling people, like, hey, I kind of believe maybe we should have guns, like, in some cases, that ain't good enough. You have to be like, you know what? What if everyone could have an attack helicopter? Then you're gonna be hurt. Then people are gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? Some are gonna be like, hell yeah, I agree with you, brother. Others are gonna be like, you know what? You're completely wrong and you should go to prison. Like, that's just how it goes. and that's how you get heard. And like, if you ain't doing that, then no one cares about you. And so the people who are doing that, or the people who aren't doing that, the people who are actually like reasonable and decent and not trying to constantly tell people about their opinion, which I'm not saying I'm that person, because I whine about my opinion all the time. But like, you know, the people who are actually decent are not gonna get hurt at all, because that's not how our world works right now. Because all that matters to us is whoever can scream the loudest about what they want. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Ah. Okay. But like, yeah, that's all that matters right now, is just who can whine about, you know what, maybe this would be a good thing. I'm gonna pray that I live. I don't know where I am. Okay. But like, you know, just stop it. Get some help. Oh no. Oh no. Son of a bitch. I should have waited for the thing. But like, I just think that the middle ground is best, and like everyone can agree on that. Middle ground for everything is best. Like complete anarchy, bad. Complete like ruling and dictatorship, also bad. In between, exactly where you should be. Like, you know, full on religion rules everything, bad. Full on, you aren't allowed to have beliefs because evolution is true, is science, bitch. That's also bad. Like, there should be an even in between. The far right of, like, welcome to Germany, 1940, whatever, again, that's very bad. You don't want that. And then far left of, like, welcome to Russia, USSR, 1970, I don't freaking know. Whatever. Just USSR Nazis. You don't want either of those. And so if you meet in the middle, then you get an in-between. However, one thing that, like, only, like, full base beliefs and stuff are things that are okay in the middle, because, like, let's say, like, more specific things, like racism, for example, there is not a middle ground on that. Like, actually, I mean, I guess there kind of is, because, like, there are some people out there who are just like, you know what? Screw white males. Like, they suck. They don't deserve anything. Which, like, that isn't the point. That's kind of the exact opposite of the point. Like, you're not helping anything if you're just saying, you know what? How about instead of being mean to this one race, we're just mean to another race? That doesn't help. But if you do actually, like, you know, want to help, just don't be racist, you know? It's as simple as that. And that isn't like a middle ground. That isn't like, you know what? I'm not a racist, but I can say the N-word, I bet. Because that's okay. Because, like, it's not, like, that bad. Like, I don't know why everyone is so upset about the N-word. Like, that isn't okay, because there is no middle ground on that. Like, I don't think anyone should be saying the N-word. I don't even think black people should be allowed to, because it's kind of dumb, because, again, I mean, it is in some way a form of racism if you let someone say a slur, and you don't let someone else say a slur. Just because, oh, well, I have rights to this slur, because I'm a black person. That doesn't make sense. There should be nothing that one race is allowed that another race is not allowed. There should not be one way that one race is treated that another race isn't treated that way. That's just as simple as it is. But, like, people refuse to believe that and refuse to understand that, and they like to make it more complicated than it actually is. Or they just want slaves again, which I think there are lots of people, like, mainly in America, because we suck, but lots of people in America that want slavery back. Because, like, of course they do. It's capitalism, it's racism, it's all combined. Slavery is the best thing for capitalism and racism. Son of a bitch. But, like, you know, I think we can all agree, or at least most of us who aren't from the South, can agree, racism bad. And so, let's fix that, why don't we? And, like, I don't think the way to fix that is by defunding the police and saying, you know what? Well, actually, defunding the police is fine, but like not defunding all of them, like everywhere. Because like for example, like the Seattle police got defunded when they really didn't do anything that racist. I mean, like almost every police force is racist to some extent, in America at least. But like, the Seattle police force wasn't that bad, and they didn't do anything that bad. The Tacoma police force, which is nearby Seattle, they did do some bad things, and they should have gotten in trouble, but instead it was the Seattle police force that was defunded, because Seattle is like far left. Seattle is terrifyingly far left. Like, you know, like everyone likes to make fun of like the idiots of the far left and far right, depending on what side you're on, but like, you know, your side is also dumb a lot of the times. Like, if you're far right and you're only making fun of far left people, you're kind of just wrong. And if you're far left and only making fun of far right people, you're still kind of just wrong. So, like, don't think that your side is always right. And don't think that everyone on your side is okay just because they're on your side. Because that's not how that works. And so, you know, don't believe that. But like, you know, Seattle and Tacoma is like, I still feel like Tacoma's far left, but like, I guess not as far left, because their police didn't get defunded, and their police force is quite racist, and has gotten in trouble on several occasions of just harassing black people for absolutely no reason. Seattle police force hasn't really had that much, but they got defunded. Like, everyone wanted them defunded. Like, non-stop in, like, Washington News, it was, hey, let's defund the Seattle police force. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be cool? It would. That's not how that works. And you know what sucks? Like, everyone whines about, like, how during the riots, that everything went chaotic and everything got destroyed. Which it did. And that's really bad. And that should never happen. Things should never get destroyed in riots that are supposed to be quote-unquote peaceful. And then, like, also, a problem with that is that, like, whenever your side, like, if you're on the left, which you would be if you're in Seattle, if the Republicans are gonna see, like, you know, the far left cities being thrown into chaos from these Black Lives Matter protests and stuff that are supposed to be quote-unquote peaceful, where people just decide to come and, like, harass things, just because, like, you know, police force is down, I'm a criminal, I'm gonna go along, steal some stuff, and no one's ever gonna catch me. Which, like, that's not good. And protests, that always happens at protests. Which protests are a good idea on the surface. And in practice, they aren't. Kinda like communism, haha. But like, you know, I just think that it, especially, again, if you're on the far left, because far left really loves protests. Far right ain't gonna protest a damn thing until their guns are taken away. Which, like, that's kind of sad, but whatever. But, like, you know, far left likes to whine a lot and likes to protest a lot. And I just think it's never really panned out for them. It's a good idea. There should be some other way to do it. But going into, like, cities and, like, doing marches and stuff, that doesn't really work. Because, especially nowadays, where everyone sucks as a human being, it's not a good idea to have protests. Also, during coronavirus, not a good idea to have protests. And if you want to make your case, protests are not how you do that. Because when that chaos does ensue, and suddenly you have people getting murdered and stuff getting stolen, etc., people are gonna start to think, like, you know, like, someone from the other side, like, let's say a Republican, who's the only person from the other side in this case, really, like, they're gonna see that, they're gonna see the chaos that is going on, and they're gonna be like, you know what, I can use this to my advantage in some way, which is true. It's like, if, like, you know, you always hear, like, I think Fox News even did it. Fox News covered how, like, you know, protests are going on in Seattle and Portland and all these other democratic cities, and that's bad because they're democratic, you know? Look what happens if you're in a democratic society. Everything goes to chaos. And then, what you're doing is you're letting the other side get points. because the Republicans kind of got points there. They were like, you know what? We should keep racism, because if we don't, then look at all this that happens. Look what happens when black people have a voice. Which, like, let's just say, I just want to say, Democrats, both Democrats and Republicans are good at twisting, like, stories. But Republicans are so damn good at twisting stories. Like, Jesus Christ, how do you all do it? Like, you make everything sound like it's swaying towards yours. Like, you can make communism sound like some kind of, like... Actually, you know what? No. You can make communism sound like something good if you actually tried. And you could be like, you know what? Hitler wasn't that bad when you think about it. Like, I think that Republicans can do anything that they set their mind to, like, convince people. Because, like, they just use brainwashing tactics. Because, like, they have, like, slogans, and they have, like, sayings, and they have, like, everything's extreme, everything has to be extreme, you're either a friend or an enemy, that kind of thing. They're so good at that, and it's scary as hell. Because any, like... And it's also funny that they want to get, like, immigrants out of the country, because I think a fair amount of immigrants vote for them. Because, like, if those immigrants are, like, uneducated on how America works, which, like, I think plenty are, Republicans are really good at, like, if you listen to a Democrat and a Republican just with, like, no knowledge of what's actually going on, you're gonna be like, hell yeah, Republicans actually sound like they know what they're talking about. Democrats can slip up here and there. Which, like, I don't know, that's a really bad thing, I think. Like, it kind of sucks that, like, just the way that you talk, and if you can convince someone that your idea is correct, even if it's wrong, and even if you know that it's wrong, that, like, all you have to do is just, convince people. And that's all that Republicans really do, is that they just are like, oh, hey, there's a bunch of people out there who are really uneducated, and don't know exactly what they're doing at all. Like, they just work on a farm 24/7, so let's just, like, convince them that we know what we're talking about. And then that's all that they do. And again, like in the case of, like, Cuba, like I was mentioning before, Cubans, they're coming to Florida, and they're gonna hear, oh, the far left, they're communists. And then they're like, oh, I don't like communists. I've come from communism. I've come from the communists. I've seen what it's like. That sucks. I don't want that. And so, they're gonna vote Republican. And that's why Florida is a red state. Also, I'd just like to say it, the white people who work on farms actually, no, not white people, because that's a racist comment. Very racist. But, like, any person who's just, like, working on farmland, most people who are just working on farmland aren't exactly going to be politically smart. And I think that's a fair thing to say. Like, they can be smart, but politically, no. Because politically smart takes a lot. Like, that takes, like, you gotta have time to waste. And, like, no farmer has time to waste. I also think that military people also are not politically smart, which is gonna get a lot of people upset. But, like, that's just true. Because, like, they just don't know what they're really doing. I mean, if you have your time entirely taken up by farming or military, because those are two very time-consuming jobs, that's all you're really gonna care about, And, like, you aren't gonna be going to school for those kind of jobs. Like, you still have school, and you can still be educated. But if you are doing those jobs, you're getting such a low pay that you'd probably rather be actually, like, doing something. Actually, you know what? No. Farming is low pay. Most of the time, unless you're, like, the owner of a company. Military gets paid way too much, they get way too much handed to them, and then they still whine about how they don't have enough handed to them, which I think is kind of dumb. Like, I understand. I'll give you respect. Like, hell yeah, you're serving the country and all, love that for ya. But, like, don't whine about how you, like, deserve so much more than everyone else because you're, like, putting your life at risk. Because you ended up there. Like, if you're getting drafted, that's different. If you're getting drafted, you deserve way more respect. If you are on purpose going into the military, maybe because you didn't do well in school, maybe because you dislike the military, then you shouldn't get to whine about how it sucks being in the military and how you deserve more respect for being in the military. Because that's not how that works. Like, if I'm gonna go into a job Of like, no, let's say I just like, you know, let's just say that someone entered a relationship and that they wanted to, and then they complain about how, you know what, this relationship sucks, I should get more for being in this relationship with this person, because like, you know, I don't want to be here, because that's not how that works, because, you know, you chose to be in that relationship, shut up, and if you really are that much of a bitch about it, then you get out of said relationship. But like, you know, instead people choose to whine and think that they deserve more just because they're in the military, which, like, again, they do deserve more, but you already get more. I think it's the same thing with, like, teachers, which, like, teachers is kind of different because to some extent they don't really deserve more, but, like, teachers, they always whine about how they need more pay and, like, you know, it's so difficult to do their job. Most teachers, especially, like, the teachers that I've had and stuff, they really don't try. Like, they just kind of sit there and just do things. Like, my teachers literally whine about the school system, which I agree with. The school system sucks in America. But, like, you know, that's not what you do. Like, I'm not gonna go and work at Boeing only to whine about the things that Boeing's doing. Anyways, you know what? Screw it. It's time to end this video because we've already gone over the time. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you and good day.